a retrospective look at a classic horror miniseries. This movie gets a 10 out of 10 rating from the Horror Cabin. Let's start with the introduction. The 1979 television miniseries Salem's Lot, directed by Tobe Hooper, stands as a seminal work in the horror genre. Based on Stephen King's 1975 novel of the same name, the miniseries brought King's chilling tale of a small town besieged by vampires to the small screen, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of televised horror. The plot and themes of the movie, Salem's Lot, revolves around Ben Mears, played by David Soul, a writer who returns to the small town of Jerusalem's Lot, or Salem's Lot, to confront his childhood fears associated with the eerie Marston house. Upon his arrival, Mears discovers that a mysterious new resident, Richard Straker, played by James Mason, has taken up residence in the house. As strange events and unexplained deaths begin to plague the town, it becomes clear that Straker is but a harbinger for his master, the ancient vampire Kurt Barlow, played by Reggie Nalder. At its core, Salem's Lot explores themes of evil lurking beneath the surface of everyday life, the corrupting influence of malevolent forces in the struggle between good and evil. The miniseries delves into the vulnerabilities and secrets of a seemingly idyllic small town, revealing how easily darkness can take root. The direction and atmosphere. Tobe Hooper, best known for his work on The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, brings his distinctive directorial style to Salem's Lot, creating a palpable sense of dread and suspense. Hooper's use of atmospheric lighting, eerie set designs, and hauntingly slow pacing builds a sustained tension that keeps viewers on edge throughout the miniseries. The Marston house itself becomes a character in the story, with its decaying facade and ominous presence serving as the perfect embodiment of the town's underlying evil. Hooper's direction ensures that the house remains a central, terrifying figure in the narrative. Performance. The cast delivers strong performances that contribute to the miniseries' enduring impact. David Soul is compelling as Ben Mears, capturing the character's mix of determination and vulnerability. James Mason's portrayal of Richard Straker is both charming and sinister, providing a human face to the malevolence that envelops the town. Reggie Nalder's Kurt Barlow, though minimally seen, is unforgettable. His grotesque, Nosferatu-like appearance and menacing presence make him one of the most iconic vampires in horror history. The supporting cast, including Bonnie Bedelia as Susan Norton and Lance Kerwin as Mark Petrie, also provides solid performances that enhance the narrative. Impact and legacy. Salem's Lot has left a lasting legacy in the horror genre, influencing numerous vampire stories and miniseries that followed. Its success demonstrated the potential for serialized horror on television, paving the way for future adaptations of Stephen King's works and other horror classics. The miniseries' ability to blend traditional Gothic horror with contemporary settings and characters made it accessible to a broad audience, cementing its status as a beloved classic. Iconic scenes, such as the floating vampire boys tapping on windows, have become ingrained in popular culture, continuing to evoke fear and fascination. Salem's Lot, 1979, remains a landmark in televised horror, showcasing Tobe Hooper's directorial prowess and Stephen King's storytelling brilliance. Its atmospheric tension, strong performances, and enduring themes of hidden evil ensure that it continues to captivate and terrify audiences decades after its initial release. As a retrospective look reveals, Salem's Lot stands the test of time as a masterful exploration of the darkness that lies just beneath the surface of everyday life. Salem's Lot, 1979, is considered by myself a good adaptation of Stephen King's novel for several reasons. 1. Faithfulness to the source material. The miniseries stays true to the essential plot and themes of Stephen King's novel. It captures the gradual, creeping horror that overtakes the town of Jerusalem's Lot, reflecting the book's slow build of suspense and dread. 2. Effective atmosphere. Tobe Hooper's direction creates an atmospheric and eerie setting that mirrors the novel's tone. The use of lighting, set design, and music enhances the sense of foreboding and dread that permeates King's book. 3. Strong characterization. The adaptation effectively brings King's characters to life, David Soul as Ben Mears, James Mason as Richard Straker, and Reggie Nalder as Kurt Barlow deliver performances that align with the novel's depiction of these characters. Their portrayals capture the complexity and nuances that King imbued in them. 4. Key scenes and iconic moments. The miniseries includes many of the novel's most memorable and chilling scenes. Iconic moments, such as the floating vampire boys tapping on windows and the transformation of townspeople into vampires, are faithfully recreated, leaving a lasting impression on viewers. 5. Pacing and structure. The miniseries format allows for a more detailed and gradual unfolding of the story compared to a feature-length film. This extended runtime provides the space needed to develop the town's descent into horror, much like the novel does, ensuring that key plot points and character arcs are not rushed or overlooked. 6. Gothic horror elements. Salem's Lot effectively captures the Gothic horror elements that are central to the novel. The Marston house, with its decaying, ominous presence, serves as a focal point of terror, just as it does in King's book. The atmosphere of the miniseries evokes the classic Gothic horror tradition that King drew upon in his writing. 7. Thematic depth. The adaptation retains the novel's exploration of themes such as the corrupting influence of evil, the vulnerability of small-town life, and the struggle between good and evil. These themes are woven into the fabric of the miniseries, providing depth and resonance beyond mere scares. 8. Cultural impact. The miniseries has had a lasting cultural impact, much like the novel. Its success paved the way for future Stephen King adaptations and established a high standard for televised horror. The enduring popularity of the miniseries attests to its effectiveness in capturing the spirit of King's work. Overall, Salem's Lot, 1979, is a good adaptation of Stephen King's novel because it remains faithful to the source material while effectively translating its atmosphere, characters, and themes to the screen. The miniseries' ability to evoke the same sense of creeping horror and dread that permeates the novel makes it a standout adaptation in the realm of horror literature.